At 93, the tragedy of Sir Michael Caine is beyond heartbreaking, not because he was forgotten or because his legacy faded, but because his story is a painful reminder that even the strongest legends cannot escape time, loss, and the quiet loneliness that often comes with outliving an entire era. For more than 6 decades, Michael Caine has been one of the most respected and recognizable actors in the world, a working-class boy from London who rose through sheer talent, grit, and charisma to become a knighted icon admired across generations. From classics like Alfie, The Italian Job, and Get Carter, to later masterpieces like The Cider House Rules, The Dark Knight Trilogy, and Interstellar, Caine didn't just have a career, he had a lifetime of unforgettable roles. But behind the charm and famous voice, there's a deeper sadness that many fans don't realize until they look closely at where life has taken him in his later years. The heartbreaking truth is that aging has forced Michael Caine to slowly step away from the very thing that gave him purpose. In recent years, he has spoken openly about health issues and mobility struggles, admitting that walking has become difficult and that he now relies on a cane. For a man who spent decades moving through film sets, traveling the world, and bringing characters to life with physical presence and confidence, the loss of mobility is more than just a health issue, it's the loss of independence, the loss of freedom, and the loss of the identity he built over a lifetime. And what makes it even more emotional is that Michael Caine has always been the type of man who faced life with humor and toughness, so hearing him talk about slowing down hits fans in a way they don't expect. But the tragedy goes deeper than physical decline. At 93, Caine has lived long enough to watch many of his closest friends, colleagues, and fellow legends pass away. The film industry he once knew, the golden age of cinema, the era of real movie stars, has changed dramatically, and many of the people who shared those decades with him are gone. That kind of grief doesn't make headlines, but it weighs heavily, because when you reach that age, memories become both a blessing and a burden. You don't just remember the success, you remember the people you lost along the way. And yet, the most emotional part of Michael Caine's story is that despite everything, he remains deeply devoted to his family. He has often said his wife Shakira saved his life and gave him stability, and he has spoken about love with a sincerity that makes his later years feel even more fragile. Because at 93, every day becomes more precious, and every goodbye feels closer than anyone wants to admit. Michael Caine's tragedy isn't scandal, or failure, or downfall, it's the slow, heartbreaking truth of growing old, outliving the world you once knew, and having to let go of the life you spent decades building. And that's why, when you really think about it, his story is enough to bring anyone to tears.